Women are prolific self-harmers. I mean, prolific. I've seen them try and pull their eyes out. We had one prisoner who I ended up taking out to hospital, literally took a chunk out of her wrist so you could see her wrist bone and spat the piece of flesh out onto the floor. When she was feeling very disturbed, she had this thing where she'd stick a biro down in the vein in her leg and refuse all treatment. At that time, Amanda sunk her teeth into my arm, and she literally just bit down into my arm. Blood was coming out of it. Was that there'd been an armed escape. The prisoner had gone. The staff had been held up with a gun in their faces. You know, she could manipulate the birds out of the trees, so much so that, she manipulated a governor to take her to Regent's Park for an ice cream. His cell card kept disappearing because prisoners were taking it and he was signing the autograph. Rose West and Myra Hindley were both at Durham Prison. They had an affair. Now that's an interesting dynamic. He said he's ready to give the phone out. And I was like, great, that's fabulous. And he said, yeah, there's only one thing though, Gov. And I said, what's that? He said, he can't get it out, it's stuck. And as we laid him down, his arm kind of went flop like that over my foot. Well, I'll tell you now, that haunted me for about 3 or 4 months. I used to wake up in the middle of the night seeing this guy's dead arm flop over my foot. People who work in jobs like that, they see things on a daily basis that many people don't see in a lifetime.
Insanely real true stories, hard-hitting podcasts, and we interview experts on everything from aliens to the royal family. Our detailed podcasts feature true stories that take our viewers on long emotional journeys and educate young people about the dangers of gangs, drugs, crime, and prison. We also cover current events and big news stories. In our podcasts, we mostly interview people who have committed or survived crimes to reveal the horror of what those bad choices led to. These podcasts are usually published at 7 p.m. UK on Sundays. We have regular popular live streams with a panel of commentators on the royal family.
He was a thoroughly evil man who was enabled by people just looking the other way.
So they range from everything. So it was from rape down to indecent assaults, touching, and also the period of time between his offending behaviour certainly moved between the 60s all the way up to the late 2000s. In his offending didn't change that much. It became less aggressive in the latter years. He became older, but in the early years, aggression, power and control were one crucial element of his offending behaviour. He was a particularly nasty early offender.
He made sure he had friends in every element. They were the police officers that came round to his flat in Leeds. Jimmy Savile had Margaret Thatcher. Jimmy Savile had access to Broadmoor. Jimmy Savile had Edwina Currie. Jimmy Savile had Prince Charles. Jimmy Savile had everybody.
This was a man who was elevated to a status of effective, almost royalty within television anyway. That made him untouchable.